She slapped me in front of everyone. In the middle of a luxury jewelry store. Crystal lights above us, cameras watching, strangers whispering. And I stood there, shocked, humiliated, holding my cheek. But what she didn't know? The quiet man standing behind her, the one she called security, was my husband. And not just any man. A billionaire. And when he spoke, the entire store went silent. He said, "Touch my wife again, and you will regret it." That was the moment my sister realized she picked the wrong person to embarrass. Let me start from the beginning. My name is Ava. I grew up in a small town with my older sister Claire. Claire was always the perfect one. Perfect grades, perfect friends, perfect clothes. The one who wore simple outfits. The one people ignored. Claire loved attention. She lived for it. Even at family dinners, she would talk about her promotions, her rich boyfriend, her designer bags. And somehow, she always made sure to mention how simple my life was. I never argued. I never competed. Because I didn't need to. You see, 3 years ago, I married Daniel. But we kept it private. Very private. Daniel hated showing off his wealth. He liked simple things, simple clothes, quiet dinners, peace. Most people had no idea he owned multiple companies. They didn't know his name appeared in business magazines. To my family, he was just that quiet guy Ava married. And I preferred it that way. Last month, Claire invited me to go shopping. "Come with me," she said sweetly. "I need help picking a necklace. Something expensive." She emphasized that word. Expensive. I agreed. Not because I cared about jewelry, but because I hoped, maybe just maybe, we could connect as sisters. When we arrived at the jewelry store, it was stunning. Gold displays, glass counters, diamonds sparkling like stars. Claire walked in like she owned the place. I followed behind her wearing a simple white dress. No flashy logos, no designer labels. The staff greeted Claire immediately. She smiled proudly and said loudly, "Show me your premium collection. I don't look at cheap things." Then she glanced at me and added, "Some people do though." It was beautiful. Claire held it up to her neck and looked at herself in the mirror. "How much?" she asked. $85,000, the saleswoman replied. Claire's smile froze. I could see it in her eyes. She didn't expect it to be that expensive. But she couldn't back down now. Not in front of me, not in front of the staff. So she laughed nervously and said, "Of course, that's fine." Then she turned to me. "What do you think, Ava?" "Oh wait, you've probably never seen something like this before." A few customers glanced at us. My cheeks warmed. I said softly, "It's beautiful. If you love it, you should get it." She narrowed her eyes. That answer didn't give her the reaction she wanted. She wanted jealousy. She wanted me to feel small. Then, it happened. The saleswoman asked, "Will you be paying by card or transfer?" Claire hesitated. Her hand trembled slightly. And suddenly, she snapped. She turned to me and shouted, "You always make things awkward." The entire store went quiet. "I invited you here to celebrate with me, and you stand there judging me." "I'm not judging you," I said calmly. "Yes, you are," she yelled. And before I could react, she slapped me. Hard. The sound echoed across the store. My head turned to the side, Everything felt frozen. People gasped, whispered, "Did she just slap her?" My eyes burned, but I refused to cry. Claire looked around, realizing everyone was watching. And then she said loudly, "Security, she's harassing me." Harassing her? I hadn't even raised my voice. That's when I heard footsteps behind us. Slow, calm, controlled. A tall man in a dark suit stepped forward. Daniel, my husband. But Claire didn't recognize him immediately. He rarely attended family gatherings, and when he did, he dressed casually. Today he looked different. Sharp suit, polished shoes, quiet authority. He walked straight toward us. Claire pointed at me dramatically. "Please remove her." Daniel looked at me first. His eyes softened when he saw the red mark on my cheek. Then he turned to Claire, and his expression changed completely. Cold, controlled. He spoke calmly. "Did you just hit my wife?" The room went silent. Claire blinked. "Your wife?" Daniel stepped closer. "Touch my wife again, and you will regret it." His voice wasn't loud, but it carried power. Real power. The store manager rushed over. "Mr. Reed," he said respectfully, "is everything all right?" Claire's face drained of color. Reed. That name she had seen in headlines. That name connected to luxury hotels, tech companies, real estate. She looked at Daniel, then at me, then back at Daniel. "You're Daniel Reed?" she whispered. He didn't answer her. Instead, he addressed the manager. "I want the security footage saved. And I want this incident documented." The manager nodded quickly. "Of course, sir." Claire's legs looked weak. Claire turned to me. You never told me." I looked at her calmly. "You never asked." Her voice trembled. "Why didn't you say you married him?" I gave a small smile. "Because it was never a competition." That hurt her more than anything. She realized something in that moment. All those years she tried to make me feel small, and I had been living peacefully, confidently, securely, not needing to prove anything. Daniel gently touched my cheek. "Are you okay?" he asked softly. I nodded. "I'm fine." But inside, I felt something shift. Revenge. Clarity. The manager then asked Claire, "Will you still be purchasing the necklace?" The question hung in the air. Claire swallowed. She knew she couldn't afford it. Not really. Her rich boyfriend recently dumped her. Her luxury lifestyle? Mostly credit cards. Everyone was watching, waiting. Daniel looked at the necklace, then at the manager. "Wrap it up," he said calmly. Claire's eyes widened. He continued, "And add the matching bracelet." The staff moved quickly. The total came to over $120,000. Daniel paid without hesitation. Then he turned to me. "Happy anniversary," he said gently. Tears filled my eyes. Not because of the jewelry. Way he protected my dignity. Claire stood there, speechless. The necklace she wanted so badly now felt meaningless, because it wasn't about money anymore. It was about respect, and she had lost all of it. We walked toward the exit, but before leaving, Daniel paused. He looked at Claire one last time. "You owe my wife an apology." The store was silent again. Claire's pride battled with her humiliation. Finally, she whispered, "I'm sorry." I looked at her. For the first time, I didn't see my powerful older sister. I saw someone insecure, someone who built her confidence on comparison. And when comparison failed, she collapsed. "It's okay," I said softly, but I meant something deeper. No longer need your approval. People think revenge is about money, about power, about making someone suffer. But the real revenge is success without arrogance, confidence without cruelty, peace without proving anything. Claire tried to embarrass me in public. Instead, she exposed herself. And the billionaire who said, "Touch my wife again," wasn't just defending me. He was reminding the world of something important. Never underestimate the quiet one, because sometimes the person you think is weak is simply choosing not to show their strength. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. What would you have done in my place? And remember, respect costs nothing. Disrespect can cost you everything.